the Shoeman's Model Shop, and we're back at the Batmobile or Batman Tumbler. And where we left off this was the part we left off. We're still working on section 1, but now we're on step 10 in section 1. And so I've got the parts out already. I think that's the one thing, if you're going to talk about Legos compared to building a regular model, is on a regular model everything's on sprue, and so you just cut it off. On here it's not. It's, you know, in a bag, you know, in bags. And like I said, I showed you before where I've took out the bags because they were not sealable and kind of flimsy, so I put them in a big Ziploc bag. So the biggest part is finding the parts. And again, like I said, they are color coded, so that makes it easier for you to find. But when you're digging through a lot of parts, it's a lot of parts. I wonder if it might be better if you were going to do this to build it on, put them in like little parts trays. If you know, sometimes you get really good ones at the dollar store. Maybe beforehand putting all the parts in those trays so they're easier to find. I don't know. I guess if I keep going on with my other, if I keep doing Legos, I might look into investing in something like that. So let's look at what we've got here. We've got this one long piece here. We've got 4 of these little, I'm just going to call them plates, and then these. So where are they going to go? What we're going to do is we're going to go, like, make sure we have it oriented right. And I'll try to stay in camera here. And where they're going to go is, you can see right here. So they're going to go in this center part right here. So the first part that we see that goes in is this part up here. So it looks like it snaps in here. Like that. And then we've got 2 of the flat pieces we can see that are here. Then next we have the 2 plates that fit like this. And then another one. And then we have these 2 last pieces here that, oh, this one doesn't look like it snapped very well. Okay. Oops. And that piece snaps in there. And I just kind of like to give everything a little push to make sure it's snapped in place. And that is it for part 10. Like I said about the book, I know it's a very thick book, but as you can see, there's not much to do on each page. So that completes step 10, and then we're going to move on to step 11. Now step 11 is basically kind of the same thing. We have 1 build plate, and we have 2 of the longer pieces, and we can see they're going to go on this end, and then we're going to put these on the outside. So we're going to go with this one. So let's move over here. And that is going to snap in there. And then the next 2 pieces will go on the sides here. Where do they go? And there we go. And that is it for page 11. Now we're on to step 12, and I'm just going to give you a little hint. Now you can see that if you look at the parts, they look almost identical. They're gray, and they're all kind of flat, what I would call plates. So how do we tell the difference? Well, the easiest way to do it is basically, since they're not giving you parts numbers, they're just giving you pictures, is to actually go ahead and count how many pegs there are, and that helps you match up, because like for instance the bigger plate has more and the smaller plates have fewer, so that way you can kind of keep track of what you're doing if you're not 100% sure what parts are. And like I said, when they're all gray like this, I think you could get a little confused. So right now you're seeing we're just adding more plates to this section here to fill it out. So let's see. Now we just have to figure out what plates go where. And again, if you're not sure, again, I don't know if you can see this, but they have red lines that show you where everything goes. And so you can kind of just look at, you can see where on this one, the smaller plate is going to go here. And then it looks like the next one is a bigger plate, which is going to go next to that. In very well. There we go. And then we have a big plate here. And then we basically repeat the same thing on the other side. A smaller plate here, a big plate, and another big plate. And again, that will do it for page 12. We can see we're starting to fill that out nicely. So now we're moving on to page 13, and what we have here is we have two of these little squares. We have a different color here, and then we have two black ones, and where they're going to go is on this end here to fill out this section right here. So we take these two big end pieces and we're going to pop them in here. And we have this one's going to go, probably easier to put those in first. And there we go. And that is it for page 13. Now we're on to page 14, which is basically just adding a few more of these little strips. And they are going to go this time on this end right here. We can see when we put them down, they looks like they're going across, but they're not. So you want to be kind of mindful here. We have one peg, so we want to make sure we leave that one peg open. Pop in the next one, and the next one. And I'm just going to kind of give everything a little press, make sure they're all seated properly. And then that is it for 14. Now we're on to page 15, and we have two of these parts we've used before. We have some new little L brackets and some small plates, and they are going to go on the side here on this section right here. Now one of the things too is I think you've noticed that they don't really tell you what parts go in order right now, and I don't know if they will later, but like for instance when you're building models, sometimes you have to put a part in before you put another part in. So I think it's kind of trial and error here. If a part doesn't fit right, then go ahead and pull it out and put it back in if it's not fitting right. But so far I haven't run into that. And so we're going to look at here, and remember we're doing this on both sides. So we're going to start off by putting on, let's see here, looks like this part's going to go, let's put on the L bracket first. See, and like I said, that might make it easier to see where parts go once we put that L bracket in. Then we know this part's going to go here, snap into place, and then these two parts will go here, and then we just repeat on the other side. Now we're on to page 16, and you can see where basically we just have these two little squares, but something you'll see here is that basically we're going to build something on the underside, so they want you to flip it over. So we flip it over like that, and then these are going to go in this corner here. And they just snap in. And that's it for page 16. Now we're ready to start page 17, and we have some longer parts. We have some very interesting parts here. They're angled parts. And then again, they remind you to flip it over, because remember, last part we did this way. They'll remind you to flip it over. And then we're going to go ahead and add those parts. And these parts are interesting because we have to figure out the angle, because it looks like one of them goes down and the other one will go up. So you can see here that the first thing we probably want to do is put in this long piece, which will go, that looks like this. Let's see. Okay. And again, let me show you something here. I was looking at this part here, and you can see where it's hard to see where that part goes, because I was thinking it's going to go here, but it's like, well, there's not pieces here. So I looked on this side, and I can see where it's actually going to go on the gray part. Get back in camera here. And we snap that into place. Then we're going to take one of these little gray angle pieces, and we're going to see where they go. They're going to go right here. We take two of the gray angle pieces, pop them into place, and then our other angle piece is going to go so we want that part here, so they will go in here like this. And that's how that side goes. We'll repeat the other side. Let's see if I can. So you can see the angle part is here. And we go on to the other side. Well, we forgot to put one here. So let's. Then this angle part goes like so. And that does it for page 17. We're ready to start page 18, and we have some smaller parts and some more angle brackets, and they are going to go on this area right here. And these are going to match up with this. Oh, and those popped off. That's because they hang down, so when I was pressing on it they popped off. So we're gonna have to take that into consideration. And those pop on right there, and then these go oh, this is fun. that, and like that. And that's it for page 18, and we'll move on to page 19. So on page 19, we just have basically some flat pieces here that are going to go along back on the sides. And let's go they're going to go, what I call the 6 pins are going to go right there. And then the small one will go there. Nope, I don't think that's right. So let's pop those off again. And again, that's where we need our little screwdriver. There we go. We have it set right, and it looks like, nope, I think let's start with this one. This one goes there. And yep, I think that's correct. So go right along that one. The reason it gets hard is everything's kind of black right now, you know, it's Batman. And so when you're kind of looking at it, it can get a little confusing because everything's black right here, but we got it. And again, we do the same thing on the other side. Nope. I think these are in the wrong place. They need to be here. And then this part goes in here like so. Snap in place. And that completes part 19, or page 19. Now we're on to page 20, and what we have is these 4 little parts here. They have a little hole there, so those will go on. If we turn it this way, they're going to go on this end here. And they just go right there. And that is it for part 20. I think we're going to go ahead and stop here. We're at about 20 minutes, and this is a good place to stop on part 20. Give you a look at how everything's coming along. It's looking pretty good. It's getting a little heavy, so this is going to be a heavy when it's done. And so far, I'm really enjoying this. You can see I've made a few mistakes, put things in the wrong place. That's fine. You just go back and redo it. And that'll be it for this this part 2. So thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you will continue to watch me build the Lego Batman.